pretty special season.
He is Dan Mullen on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Dan joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Dan and his family will be back in Starkville this weekend to celebrate the 2014 team as they went to number one in the college football playoff rankings. And he mentioned that senior leadership, Beckwith and Dylan Day and so many guys that had been there for a while. Dak, I think at that point, was a redshirt junior in 2014. I want to talk about that for a second. Dan, now that you're on TV and you have an opportunity to see all these quarterbacks, and there's some really talented guys around the country, underclassmen and seniors, how important was it for Dak to sit in redshirt, sit a lot his redshirt freshman year, and then Tyler Russell, I think, got a concussion against Oklahoma State in 2013, and you had to insert him into the lineup, but he had been there a while. He had been through a million practices. He had had time to develop, and he stayed all the way through 2015 as a fifth-year senior. How important do you think that was for him to really help him in his NFL career, but also when you coached him?
Well, I think it's huge. In today's football, you see guys, everybody's jumping into the transfer portal nonstop. And Dak was a guy that we knew he had all the things that were hard to coach. He had the leadership, the mental, physical toughness, very intelligent, good decision maker. But he had to really just develop his skills as a quarterback and as a player. And, I think it is, I give him a lot of credit of sticking around, and it was, as you said, that 2013 year was really interesting. Tyler Russell goes down, Dak gets a chance to play. He comes in, has a lot of success. He goes down with a weird injury, with his shoulder and his arm, and Tyler Russell comes back in, and then Tyler gets hurt. Damian Williams had to come in to win a game for us, and it was one of those where we're juggling guys back and forth. And then Dak comes in with the the miracle win in the fourth quarter off the bench against Ole Miss to win that game for us when he wasn't even really supposed to play. So, but I think his development, and you saw him. I think when I talk even when he was getting to the NFL, every single year he improved. So he had a tough decision to make after that 2014 year. He was a household name. He had such a big season. We were graduating a bunch of players, and so the next year we weren't going to have, the entire, we're losing a lot of the O-line and a lot of guys moving on that were senior leaders. I think he made the great decision, which was to look at his game and say, I have some more development to do next season. And the funny one is his senior year, he didn't get as much of the hype, because we weren't the number one team in the country. He didn't get as much of the attention, but he was a much better player because so much more got put on his shoulders. And if you recall his NFL career, I think that is, he went to the NFL. He's a fourth-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. In preseason camp, Tony Romo gets hurt. Dak gets to start a preseason game. Now, if he goes in and falls on his face in that game and doesn't perform, we might never hear from him again. They're not into a lot of second chances in the NFL. And I think the ability for him to stay for 5 years, he knew our offense inside and out. And when you do that, you're involved in the game planning. When you know the offense to that level, you're spending your time studying how you're defeating defenses, which is graduate-level quarterback play, which is what they want in the NFL. So when he got there, his opportunity, when he stepped on the field, he was prepared. And we talk about this with guys today. I think a lot of teams around the country are having to kind of dumb down quarterback play with all the transfers because you don't have a guy for very long. So, hey, we just got to learn the offense. You're getting to more remedial stuff. Where a guy like Dak that knew everything about, he knew why we were doing everything. He knew he could call the game himself, if he wanted to on the field because he knew it inside and out. He knew how defenses were going to play him, how to set protections to defend against blitzes. And I think that maturity, that development prepared him for his moment that came very early in his career, in his NFL career, and gave him that opportunity to perform at a high level and has obviously led to his unbelievable career he's having with the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a remarkable